please welcome Lars Rosine, Chairman of the 5-star Greater Irving Las Colinas Chamber of Commerce and Vice President of Corporate and Marketing Communications for Flowserve Corporation.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 2019 State of the City, produced by your 5-star Greater Irving Las Colinas Chamber of Commerce. Since October, I've had the pleasure of serving as the chairman of the Irving Las Colinas Chamber and representing Flowserve as well. Today's program will be an opportunity to learn more about how Irving is doing economically, the great developments underway, as we can all see as we drive around, and the opportunities that lie ahead. Irving Las Colinas continues to be a highly coveted international business address with world-class amenities and a diverse workforce and residents. In fact, we were named the headquarters of headquarters last year by Business Facilities magazine. Because we have more corporate headquarters per capita than any city in the country. The accolades continue to pile up, and it's all due in part to the hard work of the Irving Economic Development Partnership, led and managed by Beth Bowman and her team at the Chamber, Mayor Rick Stopfer and the Irving City Council members that are here with us today, City Manager Chris Hillman and his team, Mara Gast and her team at the Irving Convention and Visitors Bureau, and Hammond Perot and his team at the Las Colinas Association. And instrumental in that is the commitment by our private business industry to growing a better community. It's a fantastic partnership. Thank you to everyone involved in it and your leadership. And I know we look forward to hearing more about these accomplishments a little bit later in the program. Now let's all rise as the Irving Police Honor Guard and Irving Fire Department's Pipes and Drums team presents the colors, and Jennifer Nickerson performs the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you to Jennifer, the Irving Police Honor Guard, and the Fire Department's Pipe and Drums for sharing their talent with us. Ladies and gentlemen, providing the invocation today will be Pastor and Councilman Dennis Webb, who is the senior pastor at Bear Creek Community Church. Please join me in welcoming Councilman Webb.
First, let me say I'm honored to be able to stand here today in place of Pastor Don George. In his absence, he's sick, wasn't able to come, and so I appreciate the opportunity to stand on his behalf and on behalf of the city. So if you would bow with me, let us go to the Lord in prayer. Eternal God, our Father, in the precious name of your Son, Jesus Christ, we come before your throne of grace with thanksgiving in our hearts. We thank you for another day of life that you have blessed us to see. And then more specifically, we thank you for the privilege to gather together as a city, to come together in this State of the City luncheon. Father God, we thank you for your blessings that you poured out upon our city. We thank you for the goodness that you've shown us. We thank you, Father God, not only for what you have given us, but what you're going to do through this city and for this city in the future. As we come now, we also thank you for the many people that make up this population. More specifically, God, we thank you for the diversity that we as a city has. We pray, Father, that you would just anoint this city. Let all of us come together as one and use all of our individual strengths and abilities to make Irving a great city. Lord, I just pray as we go into this year's political election season, I pray that you would just bring forth civility. I pray, Father God, that you would bless those that are running, Heavenly Father, to respect one another. And I just pray that we as a city will be a model, dear God, for how, even though we're diverse, we're unified. We thank you for the leadership that you've given us through Mayor Stopfer and through the council and through all of our city staff. And Lord, more than anything, we pray that you would get the glory out of the lives that we live. We now ask that you would bless this food that we're about to take into our bodies, that it may give us the nourishment that we need to live our lives to your glory. And we ask it all in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Please welcome Beth Bowman, President and CEO of the 5-star Greater Irving Las Colinas Chamber of Commerce and Irving Economic Development Partnership.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please have a seat. At this time, the team at the Irving Convention Center will be bringing around your first course. Please begin to enjoy it while I recognize some instrumental people and organizations within our Irving Las Colinas community. We truly appreciate each of you joining us today to celebrate the highlights and award-winning accomplishments our city achieved in 2018. We look forward to future successes in 2019. For those of you out there that are on your smartphones, join in the conversation with us on Facebook and Twitter. Tag the City of Irving and the Irving Las Colinas Chamber using hashtag SOTC19. SOTC19. Before we go any further in our program, we have some elected and appointed officials here, as well as stakeholders that I'd like to recognize and thank for their partnership with the City of Irving and the Irving Las Colinas Chamber. As I call your name, please stand. And ladies and gentlemen, please hold your applause until all of our elected officials, appointed officials, and stakeholders have been recognized. Today, we are joined by Commissioner Dr. Elba Garcia, who represents Irving on the Dallas County Commissioner's Court. Representing the Irving City Council, we're joined by the Honorable Mayor Rick Stopfer, Mayor Pro Tem John Danish and his wife Deborah, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem Oscar Ward and his wife Kay, Councilman Alan Meager and his guest Nielsen Malone, Councilman David Palmer and his wife Allison, and happy anniversary to the two of you. Councilman Phil Riddle and his wife Pat. Councilman Kyle Taylor, Councilman Dennis Webb and his wife Lydia, Councilman General Al Zapanta and his wife Rochelle. Representing the City of Irving, led by our CEO of the city, our city manager, Chris Hillman, Deputy City Manager, Michael Morrison, Assistant City Manager, Ramiro Lopez, Assistant City Manager, James Childers, Assistant City Manager, Philip Sanders, City Attorney, Corvilla Onman, City Secretary, Shanae Jennings, Chief of Police, Chief Jeff Spivey, Chief of Fire, Chief Victor Conley. Representing our Irving Convention and Visitors Bureau, Chairwoman Clem Lear, and Executive Director Mara Gast. From Irving Municipal Court, Judge Laura Anderson, Judge Rodney Adams, Judge Bob Glenn Whitney. Representing Irving ISD, Superintendent Magna Hernandez. Representing the Board of Trustees of Irving ISD, Trustee Pamela Campbell, Trustee Neil N. Hunt, Trustee Randy Necessary. From the Irving Arts Center, under the direction of Executive Director Todd Hawkins and Chairwoman Judy Pearson. From the Las Colinas Association, we're joined today by President Hemant Perot, Chairman Ben Brewer. From our partners at the U.S. Chamber, John Gonzalez. From our partners at the North Texas Commission, Chris Wallace, President and CEO. Representing the Carrollton Farmers Branch ISD Board of Trustees, President Nancy Klein, Secretary Terry Herbachek, Trustee Randy Sackerman. From the DART Board of Directors, President Gary Thomas, Assistant Secretary Jonathan Kelly, Lisa Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for these individuals. We truly are so thankful for what each of you do. Also want to thank our presenting sponsor, TXU Energy. Brad Watson is his team. Thank you. Our premier sponsor, Ace Cash Express, Eric Norrington and his team. And Eric, I want to thank you for keeping Ace's headquarters right home in Irving, Texas. We can applaud for that, ladies and gentlemen. Our platinum sponsors, Irving Convention and Visitors Bureau, Chairwoman Lear and Mara, thank you so much for hosting us today and everything you do to advance our community. The Kroger Company, Mercury One, our gold sponsors, Atmos Energy, the Boeing Company, FlowServe, Keurig Dr. Pepper, Michael Stores, Toyota of Irving, our silver sponsors, Baylor Scott and White Medical Center Irving, Citi, Friesen Nichols, Inc., HMS, the Las Colinas Association, NEC Corporation of America, The Parking Spot, Payway, Property Advisors Realty, Inc., Robert L. Martinez at Law, our media sponsor, the Dallas Business Journal, our parking sponsor, Rick's Independent Car Care Service, and our many table sponsors who are here today. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking our sponsors. When you are shopping, we encourage you to shop local and shop these businesses and organizations. They are supporting the local community, and without their generosity, this signature program would not be possible. Next, I'd like to recognize Chef Eduardo Alvarez, chef, for the delicious, exquisitely designed meal we are all going to have the pleasure to enjoy this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's give a round of applause for the chef. As former President John Quincy Adams said, if your actions inspire others to dream more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. That certainly is true for our 57 members of our Chamber's Board of Directors, who day in and day out inspire our 5-star Chamber team to do more and be more for our incredible community. If you're currently serving on our Board of Directors, please stand to be recognized. I also want to personally thank the award-winning City of Irving staff for all of their hard work and tireless commitment to improve our city and the true 5-star attention they provide to our business industry and residents every day. I'd also like, yes, very much an applause. I'd also like to recognize the working team for the 2019 State of the City Signature Program. This team's been working over the past 6 months to put this program together. City Secretary Sinead Jennings and Krista Evans on her team, Susan Rose and the city's entire corporate communication team for the hard work and partnership on today's program, and Portia Washington and our Chamber team, and our Signature Programs Committee under the leadership of Board Vice Chairwoman Roxanne Clary with ROX Marketing. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me thank these individuals. Today we are officially kicking off Irving Las Colinas' 9th annual Best in Irving's Award nomination. This is your opportunity to choose the best of the best, those Irving Las Colinas businesses who have demonstrated excellence over the past year. The online voting opens this afternoon and remains open until March 22nd. You can find the online link to the ballot on the cards that are at your place setting. Here is an example. These are at each of your place settings. Today's program is about celebrating our great community. To help me, I'd like to ask a special future leader to join me on stage. Miss Grace, come on up. Grace is a 10-year-old student at Paul Keyes Elementary right here in Irving. We first learned about this future leader at the Salvation Army Luncheon, where she was the recipient of the Salvation Army Boys and Girls Club Junior Youth of the Year Award. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one award given out annually throughout the state of Texas. We are so proud of this future leader, and I'm honored to invite her to join me on stage. Grace will share with you, if you have the pleasure to meet with her one-on-one, that one day she wants to be president. She already has her vice president. I asked her if I could serve as her intern. She requested my resume. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Grace.
That's better. Thank you, Beth. I'm here to introduce Irving Mayor Rick Stopfer. Mayor Stopfer was elected mayor in May 2017. He was originally elected as a council member to the Irving City Council in 1998 and served through 2012. In 2013, he was appointed as the Irving representative to the Dirt Board by the City Council. He is also a member of the Trinity Railway Express Advisory Committee and the Transit-Oriented Development Committee. He and his wife, Melanie, have lived in Irving since 1988 and was born and raised in South Dakota. Please help me welcome Mayor Stopfer.
Well, thank you very much, Grace. I appreciate that so much more than I can express. You know, we're very fortunate in the city of Irving to have the terrific education system, and this is an example of what we have. Let's give her applause. I was blown away by her presentation at the Salvation Army and so excited for her to be with us today. Now I'm excited to present a special award to business that does so much for our schools and our community. The Mayor's Corporate Award of Excellence recognizes a company, corporation, or organization that exemplifies excellence in the work it does, the service it produces, the contributions it makes to our community, and the commitment it provides to the city of Irving and its residents. In 2018, I had the honor to recognize Dr. Pepper. This year's recipient is a family-owned dealership that opened in 1968 and has received many accolades, including the prestigious Toyota Motor Special President's Award for Excellence in Service and Best Dealership in the Irving for 8 years in a row. The recipient is a longtime supporter of the Irving community through involvement in both the Irving Las Colinas Chamber and the Irving Hispanic Chamber, and sponsors many local charities, the Irving Healthcare Foundation, Irving Cares, the DFW Humane Society, among others. This company serves as an example of what a family business can achieve while supporting its community and the people living here. This year's recipient of the Mayor's Award of Excellence is Toyota of Irving. Please join me in congratulating them.
Our 50th anniversary last year, as you said, in October, and I got the key to the city, and I thought that was incredible. But now I get this quite pristine award, and it's not just because of me, it's because of the crew I have over here to my right. I have everybody there to help me, including Mark Baker, who does all our outside marketing. He helps with our charities that we need to pick for each month, and we always give them back each month to some charity. So that's kind of our theme, Charity of the Month, and a lot of other programs we do, but I appreciate it, and thank you very much.
It's now my pleasure to introduce to you Brad Watson. Brad is Senior Director of Corporate Affairs of TXU Energy and today's presenting sponsor. Brad oversees the company's community relations efforts and is also involved with leading the company's communications strategies. Irving Las Colinas is home to Vistra Energy's headquarters and more than 400 employees. We appreciate their continued commitment to our community as excellent corporate stewards. Ladies and gentlemen, Brad Watson.
Well, thank you, Lars, and good afternoon, everyone, once again. All of us at TXU Energy are so pleased to be the presenting sponsor of the State of the City. Again, second year running now. In fact, I was talking with Beth late in 2018. I said, we like this event so much, and we enjoy supporting it, that we'll sign on for a third year. So we'll see you next year, January 2020, right here again. But as TXU Energy enters 2019, we're a company on the grow. TXU Energy is the #1 choice in competitive electricity providers in Texas, powering the lives of more Texans than any other retailer. And we are very proud now that among our customers is the city of Irving. And as I was just talking with Chris Hillman, city manager, we're really proud that we were able to provide a plan that took the city for the first time to 50% renewable energy. Well, of relevance to this group here today is what local governments and businesses really of all sizes are learning. and that is making sense of the Texas electricity market really isn't their purpose. It's ours. So at TXU Energy, we ask you, please, put us to work for you so that you can focus on the things that really matter, like running your business and growing your business. How do we do that? First, savings with certainty. Manage your long-term budgets with fixed rates and competitive pricing. Secondly, customization with control. What does that mean? We'll customize a contract for you that helps you reach your goals. Next point is really important. Experience with credibility. Make informed decisions with timely market data, negotiate contracts with ease, and rely on our experienced team for guidance and support when you truly need it. And for companies more and more that want to be forward-looking, this is really important too. Sustainability with convenience. Make affordable renewables a reality. Well, as Lars just said, and as many of you know, along with TXU Energy, our parent company, Vistra Energy, and also our generation subsidiary in Texas, Luminant, also have their headquarters right here in Irving. Vistra Energy operates in 12 states and 6 of the 7 competitive power markets in the United States. And through the Luminant generation fleet, more than 50 power plants strong, and that includes our solar and battery storage sites as well, and the wind energy we purchase, and our retail brands, Vistra Energy serves almost 3 million customers now in the United States. But even though we have a national footprint, we're always very mindful of one thing. Irving is our home. And through the 2017 consolidation of our companies and Vistra's merger with Dynegy last year, Vistra Energy has moved more than 450 more jobs to Irving in the last 2 years. More than 1,600 Vistra Energy employees now work in Irving every day. And our companies and those hard-working employees are committed to giving back to this great city. For example, since 2002, the Texas Energy Aid Program has provided more than $1.1 million to Irving Cares to help more than 5,000 customers with bill payment assistance. These are customers who are going through tough financial times. And now I'd like to share with you a video that was released and produced just last week by Irving Community Television Network on something else we just did recently that's very important, especially for the children in our community.
Today, TXU Energy is making a $10,000 donation to the counseling department so that we can continue enhancing specifically our play therapy program.
The FAC's business is very important because it's intervening especially with children and young people who've had a trying time through no faults of their own. And what they do here is try to get those lives reset and on a productive and healthy path again.
We're fortunate here in Irving that we have such a strong corporate foundation, a corporate base that's willing to step outside of just paying their taxes. They look for opportunities to donate money to our nonprofits, which really in turn helps the city as a whole.
So this is the biofeedback room. We recently implemented biofeedback technology and neurofeedback to help the children learn how to self-regulate their physiological reactions after a trauma. And so that's one of the ways this donation is going to help us. And another way is by helping us enhance the counseling environment.
We provide counseling to help pull families back together, not just to how you manage the separation of the family, but giving those families ways and tools to stay together and be successful.
We are committed to communities where we do business, and we think it's important in Irving, which has been good to our company, that we make sure that we give back.
And a special thanks to Chief Spivey and also the board at FAC and Dr. Mildred Pettencourt, too, for helping on that particular grant. Now, it's my great honor to introduce our moderator for today, Dr. John McKay. Dr. McKay was born in Rantoul, Illinois. He's an Air Force brat who's lived around the world before he returned to Nebraska for a Jesuit education, then a degree at Creighton University in journalism and mass communication. In the long ago year of 1984, John came to WFAA-TV Channel 8 as a reporter in the Fort Worth newsroom. And of course, as we all know, John now anchors on Channel 8, the newscast 5, 6, and 10. John has earned a master's degree in politics from the University of Dallas and a PhD in humanities and histories of ideas from the University of Texas at Dallas. He and his lovely wife, Nora, live in Irving. Please help me at this time welcome to the stage my dear friend, Dr. John McKay, and also welcome back Mayor Stopfer for our keynote discussion.
Can you hear me? How is everybody today? Come on, man, this is Irving. How is everybody today? You know, I can't say this on television, but I get a little tired of the folks who live in like Collin County talking about, well, we have this and we have that. And I like to tell them, no. We're Irving, Las Colinas. And we are where you want to be. We tell businesses, look, if you've got dreams, we've got land. If you've got ideas, then we want you here. So that's what today is all about. Everything that we're going to be talking about today is positive about the place that we live, the place that we love, the place that we support. And we're with a mayor who has been really pushing for a lot of that. So, Mayor, let me first of all say thank you to you. This is your second year in office.
Yes.
I want to start out with the theme this year is going to be is building for the future. We see a whole lot of growth that's taking place in Irving, I think, already. You look around the city, there's so many. I love this. I know some people may not like the cranes. I love to see the cranes because cranes mean people having jobs. Explain to us why this year's theme is future-oriented.
Well, first of all, John, thank you for taking your time to be here. And I want to thank everybody else for taking their opportunities to be here with us today, too. And a special thanks to my good friend Karen Hunt, the mayor of Capel, who's joined us as well. You know, we're so fortunate to have the business community we have and everyone working together, and it's a pleasure for me to be up here. But this year what we really wanted to talk about was building for the future. As I started to look at the city and how we're working and how we're making things happen, parts of our city are 50 and 100 years old, and so we need to address those needs. And then today we also have a lot of development that's going on as we see, as you drive around, you see those cranes, you see those new roads, you see that new infrastructure, and also building for the future. We were just fortunate enough to have 183, 114, and Loop 12 rebuilt. And that's 45 to 50 years after it was rebuilt the last time. So we're building for another 45 to 50 years. So it's a combination of working on what we have done in the past, what we are doing today, and getting ready for the future.
You know, those of you who've lived here for a while, I live just on the other side of the freeway here, and have lived there for quite a while. Isn't it nice that they're slowly but surely taking care of 183? I mean, I'm the first to tell you that, man, that hurts. But it is such a joy to make that, if you're going south on MacArthur and you make the right turn to get on 183 and all of a sudden you're going under this overpass, and, man, excuse me. Isn't that nice? If you're a long-term Irving resident, you know what I'm talking about. We have seen, I mentioned before, we talked about the cranes and constructions going on. I want to take a look. I want to show you a video that gives some idea about what it is that we're talking about. Okay.
I'm so excited. This is such a major milestone.
It's going to be a tremendous impact.
With this convention center hotel being built, they can come here, they'll stay here, and keep the money in Irving.
business standpoint, it's a fantastic location. The economy is super strong here, and it just keeps getting better and better and better.
I don't remember in my 23 years since I've been here that we've had this kind of a hotel boom.
It was a commitment that Irving, Texas is the right home for one of our target priorities, which is to continue to recruit headquarters into our community.
And we found here in Irving the perfect location for our needs.
They're seeing the big benefits of being right here in the middle of the Metroplex, next to the busiest airport in Irving.
We are excited to have you right here in Irving, Texas.
Over the next 5 years, we plan to add over 1,000 headcount. We already have about 900 people today in Irving.
And it's great to continue to flourish our tech talent that is here in Irving.
We looked at several different places. When I met with different people, the people in the city of Irving stood out head and shoulders above everything else that I had seen anywhere.
And they were a perfect fit for us, so when it got time to come together, we found a spot, and they're here today.
And we work closely with Irving and all the host cities to make sure that there's a fair amount of commercial development that happens out at this airport that is in Irving.
This neighborhood is so great that the location sells itself.
Having a good supply of homes and quality residential locations is truly important as we look to grow our market continuously.
They had the last direct creekside lot available. I grabbed it so that I could have this view from every room in my house.
It's a great day here. This is the culmination of really 20 years that's been spent doing this.
I've been a 38-year resident in Irving, and it just gives me goosebumps.
This is yet another reason why people will want to come to Irving and want to stay in Irving.
We're really excited about Water Street.
I think it's awesome to have apartment living and all that this has to offer. It's a whole new area for us moving upward.
For the future. Very nice. Doesn't that give you a good feeling? It gives me a great feeling. So was 2018 as robust as 2017?
Yes, it was. We had another great year. We've been so fortunate and blessed to have $1 billion worth of permits issued in the last 3 years running. So that's a tremendous accomplishment for our city.
$1 billion. Now, that clapping's kind of tepid. let me see. I can say things to you that I can't really say on television. Look, I'm a capitalist, and this is really simple. We get people to invest in us, in our children, in our community, and by those methods, we grow. That's gone exceptionally well for us in the last couple of years.
Exactly. Well, we've been so fortunate in the city of Irving. We've seen a growth in our population, and we've seen the development spread across the market. We're seeing new single-family housing. We closed on 573 new single-family homes last year in the city of Irving. Now, that's something when we're back in the single-family business again. And we're seeing the commercial development. Over in your neighborhood, you see that nice new big over 1 million square foot building of Pioneers coming out of the ground, and we're excited to see what's going to happen on that real estate as well.
Oh yeah, I promise you, I'm going to get to that. Forbes ranked the Dallas-Plano-Irving region #1 in jobs nationally, and according to a recent report, Irving dominated the top relocations in North Texas and landed a significant percentage of the jobs created here last year. So what are we seeing in terms of employee demand?
Well, what's interesting is it used to be when, several years ago, one of the things that we had going for us as a city is location. Yeah. People talked about the location. And today when I talk to the new businesses that are looking to come to our area, they're talking about our talent pool. They're talking about our workforce that's available in all different areas, whether it's technical, whether it's architectural, whatever the need is, business-wise, they are available here in our area.
Last year when you and I talked, you were pointing out to me that while a lot of cities will talk about, we brought in X amount of jobs, we did so-and-so, such and such, the jobs that are coming to Irving are jobs that allow people to buy a home. jobs that allow people to buy automobiles, jobs that allow them to actually live where they are. So in other words, jobs that pay a substantial amount of money.
And that's one of the things that's exciting. As we see the more growth in those businesses, we're seeing $60,000 and $80,000 and $100,000 a year jobs coming into our area. And then we're also seeing the top end. We're seeing several new businesses that are looking or expanding that are in the $200,000 range. So we're seeing, to your point, a lot of high dollar jobs coming to the area.
You mentioned this already. Pioneer Natural Resources, $250 million office park. Everybody know what I'm talking about? You cannot drive on 114 and not notice this project that's going on. Matter of fact, when just the parking lot was going up, I kept thinking, is this a new college campus or something? I mean, it's just absolutely huge. It's a 1 million square foot structure, part of Verizon's $1.5 billion Hidden Ridge transit-oriented development. So what are the other plans for the area? As large as that is, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
And that's what's interesting about that piece of property. As we all know, that was Mr. Carpenter's ranch, and it's the higher point of the Las Colinas area. And we made sure when we made the decision to run the DART light rail through the city of Irving that it went through that piece of property. So that's one of the things that's an attraction for the buildings. And we have worked with the Council of Governments and the DART, and we have people here from DART today, to make sure that there's a new rail station at that spot as well. So you'll have a new rail station there. You'll have probably another 2 million square feet of office as well as a lifestyle corridor and a hotel and a few other amenities as well. So it's an opportunity for us as a city to really build a transit-oriented development within a transit-oriented development. The Las Colinas area is actually the biggest transit-oriented development in the country. And within that, we'll have Hidden Ridge.
So this is your vision for the future, right?
Yes, we have to look at how are we going to take care of this many people. Our population will be, it's amazing, our population will be over 300,000 within the next few years as we continue to grow. And so we've got to look at the mass transit aspect of it. We've got to look at the infrastructure part of it as far as roads, water, sewer, all those types of things. And these areas where we've made the commitment to give 50% of our sales tax dollars to DART and roll the dice that that's where we need to be. And that's what we've done the last 30 years. And now we're seeing companies come here and say, we want to locate there because of that rail system.
Infrastructure, one of the key things that you're going to be taking a look at and that we're already taking a look at. Let's take a look at some video right now. It gives us some idea of what it is the mayor's talking about.
What it does is it really gives the businesses an opportunity to grow.
We have worked especially with the City of Irving. They've been an incredible partner.
I think it's what taxpayers in Dallas County want to see. These kind of projects done on time, on their budget.
Great for South Irving. This is going to increase the traffic flow. It's going to make us more connected.
This is what your parents' tax dollars are paying for, is to help us take care of you guys.
It makes it feel a lot safer for sure. You don't worry about things breaking down. So yeah, I think it's great.
We want to make sure Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport is the best that it can be.
Road to the future. This is the first one coming out of year one budget.
And I appreciate the city doing this 100%.
Infrastructure, not just maintenance, but looking to the future. How we can make it even bigger, better, and stronger.
We're excited about it, of course. It's going to have the new technologies.
I hope the community is excited as we are about it.
I think it's wonderful that the city is trying to improve our city.
It helps me and everybody here. You know, everybody's always exercising and trying to keep going.
The improvement look good. Proud of it. Proud of Irving.
Every time you do a project like this and you see the response from the kids, it's just a great reminder of what we're here for.
The school district and the city, we both have that same goal in mind, to make the community better for today and tomorrow as well.
To me, it was a kind of a climactic moment of completing everything we've been working on for so long here.
I'm very proud, extremely proud of the city of Irving. Not many cities go to the length that they do to honor.
It just makes that
land that we own on the former Texas Stadium site to be more accessible and to be in a position for us to utilize to its best potential.
The implosion where the Cowboys used to play, as I like to point out to people, at the location they were playing when they won their last Super Bowl. That was in 2011. What's taken so long?
Well, when we decided to really come together on that piece of real estate, it's very important to us. It's where 183, 114, and Loop 12 come together. And we've worked together to bring together the landowners along there and accumulated a little over 400 acres of land. So one of the things that we wanted to do is make sure that it was ready for development. And so as we were moving forward with the 183, 114, and Loop 12 construction, all the way to Euless and different areas, which was about 870 million, excuse me, get my B's and my M's turned around. It's a $870 million project. They used that site as a staging site so that they could then be right there and they could get the work done faster. It made it a lot easier. It made the bids come in cheaper, so we were able to do more work. And so we actually, we leased it to TxDOT for the same amount of money that we were getting from Mr. Jones when the Cowboys were there. So we got the same payment every year that we were getting to begin with.
So it's been a money-making property in terms of the city.
Yes, and one of the other things that came along with it, as well as us being paid, there was also a big hole there. And so the dirt that was left over and the things that were left over as they reconstructed the highways, they filled in the hole for us. It saved us several $1 million as well.
Tell me about the Heritage Crossing District, the historic downtown area.
Well, the historic downtown area has been one of those areas that has been talked about. There's been studies done on it, and we've talked about it for in the 30 years I've been on the council. One of the challenges you run into is how do you put the infrastructure together, the buildings together, the land together, so that you can get it really redeveloped. And we've been fortunate over the last few years to actually come up with ways where the city can invest so that we hopefully can entice development in that area. So we've had pieces of real estate that we've owned, and so we have sold that to different individuals, and then they have improved the property. We're in the process right now of doing a new plaza, which will open up an area from Main Street to the back, and we're working with one of the residents back behind there with their office building that they are probably going to be expanding that building, and we'll have extra parking for the downtown area. And the whole heritage area, we also have bought land and expanding the park, so we'll be doing some work down there. You know, one of the things that people get excited about is food trucks, so we're going to make sure that we've got area and an outdoor area and a green space and a place for food trucks in our new park that we're doing. We'll be doing the design this work. We may be able to get some construction going, but the actual construction will probably be in 2020. We also just did a bunch of work with our senior facility down there. We have an indoor swimming pool, and that was redone. Some of the lighting was redone. Also in our southern sector of our city, we're committed to expanding the services that the city has control over. Our newest library is built in that area. We're getting ready and we're working with the arts under Todd Hawkins to put in our museum. Something we've been talking about since Joe Putnam was mayor, that we were going to have a museum, a historic museum in downtown, and that'll be going in the old library. That's a $3 million commitment. The park is a $6 million commitment. The plaza is a $2 million commitment. We're also expanding the rec centers down there, the 2 rec centers in South Irving, at over $1 million apiece inclusive. And we've been very fortunate to figure out a way to capitalize on the opportunities that we have. The Dream Courts from Nancy Lieberman, both Dream Courts were built in South Irving so that we have those for the kids in that area. And we're fortunate, I think Dr. Garcia is with us, Dr. Elba Garcia is with us, and she's worked with us on many things as far as the trails of that nature. And one of the things that we'll be working on this year is a trail along the TRE line, which will connect Dallas and Fort Worth through Irving.
You told me that over the last 5 years, Irving's population, I think we've all seen this, has grown by nearly 17,000 people. That's something like 8%. So what are we doing to overcome the strain on our resources? And we talked a little bit about this infrastructure as well.
Well, I think the challenge we have here is as we rebuild the roads, and as we rebuild things, we're rebuilding our sewer and water infrastructure as well. A lot of times we talk about the road to the future. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but that's one piece. We may spend $100 million in 5 years there, but we're spending over $150 million on water and sewer and things that are underground that you don't see, so that the next generation has those things available of development. You see it in our downtown area with the Heritage Crossing, where we once had a couple of dilapidated apartment complexes. Today we have $300,000 homes. So we're looking at how we can improve that infrastructure in any way possible for the next generation, especially in the older parts of our city. We've got to revitalize those areas. We've got to rejuvenate them. And so when we do the infrastructure replacements or repairs, we want to make sure they're done right. One little quick note that I really need to talk about is we saw in the paper a few weeks ago where we had a new fountain in the middle of one of our roads out here where we had an 18-inch water line break, and people were concerned, oh, what's the challenge? Why haven't they shut the water down? Why are they letting it run? And there's so much that goes into this, and I need to compliment our water department and our staff for what they were able to accomplish. When a water line like that breaks, you have to keep the pressure to all the homes around it. Otherwise, you're going to contaminate it, which will require boiling of water and things of that nature. So we were able to get our people out there. They worked with over an 18-hour time frame. They were able to manage the water and all the different water towers across the city to keep the power at a pressure at a right level. They were also be able to turn the water down, because if you turn it down too fast, it'll blow up somewhere else. And so in 18 hours, they were able to fix that leak and not lose any pressure for those homeowners, no business, and we received not one complaint.
Yeah, you know, in fact, if memory serves me, let me tell you, that is worth applause. That is worth applause to the water department, because if memory serves me correct, in the last year, I think in Austin, you may remember this, they had some difficulties with their water there, and once they fixed the problem, they did have to boil their water. I mean, city of Austin. So that is worth some commendation, I think. So we're a very busy city. We're also a very giving city in Irving. Home to a number of nonprofits. The city itself actually does a lot of philanthropic work. I want you to take a look at this video, and we'll talk about this some more.
Every year I think it can't get any better, and every year it just keeps getting better.
And now it's grown nationwide.
He seems like a really excited dog. He can't wait to go home.
And I like it that it's fluffy.
We're very thankful to be able to donate this to the kids.
This court is going to be a good way to be that connection between our police department and our youth.
The positivity that this program brings forth, it's been tremendous.
This collaboration, type of coming together and cohesiveness that you find in Irving, Texas, you don't find that everywhere else.
This is all about raising money for Special Olympics.
It's crazy. It's hype.
The ability to connect with our community and get our community support is tremendous.
Firefighters, that's one thing they love is competition. Every dollar we make through this event and selling t-shirts goes straight to research.
This is one of my favorite things we do in the city. Community involvement to help these kids get educated.
It's very amazing. My kids are so grateful, because otherwise we wouldn't have been able to do it.
Thanks for being here today.
Man, I wasn't expecting this.
It's what this whole country's about.
There will never be a day where I feel like I'm not loved.
Wow.
That is a wonderful story. So many giving people. Operation Finally Home, NEC, Dallas Builders Association, Winton Home, City of Irving. City of Irving actually donated the land. Irving's always been a philanthropic community, I believe. And again, as a resident, I think that's one of the things that I appreciate so much about Irving, that giving spirit. Yeah. Your thoughts?
Yeah, we're very fortunate. In fact, I think Major King is with us today. Could you please stand?
Stand up for us.
Let's give him a hand. And if I could, would all the other veterans in the room please stand and be recognized as well?
Yeah, you know, I confess to being biased on the subject, being a military brat. There's not a person in this room who wouldn't be breathing free air if it wasn't for the veterans that you see, and the young man like this young man here. In our current political environment, we tend to forget that, but there are young men and young women who have given their all and given some part of them that they will not have for the rest of their lives to make sure that the rest of us can live our lives. We always have some great events, and we also have some fantastic new restaurants. I want you to take a look at these restaurants.
So it's a great opportunity for people to come out and see all kinds of different things, great foods, great entertainment.
It's our largest year ever. Coming to Toyota Music Factory, it's awesome. We have over 2,400 runners this year.
Nobody knows I did this in my family, so as soon as I get home, they're gonna go, "Where did you go, Mom?" And I went to get me a medal.
It's a Chinese tradition. It went back thousands of years.
We are just really excited to participate in the boat race. Some of these authors here, they have like seriously inspired me.
Yeah, I'm a book nerd.
How much did you guys pay to get here tonight? Nothing. And had you got your money's worth, by round of applause, make some noise.
We got an opportunity to come here and taste all the different foods.
Today we're doing a smashed avocado toast, and we're doing an ahi tuna poke.
We've never sworn in an honorary police officer before, so to have the Hulk, Lou Ferrigno, be our first, I think sets the bar pretty high.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you.
This is the backbone of our country. What we're looking at today, these kids, and it's important they have that positive reinforcement.
Mary, didn't you tell me that you were also reviewing something like 80 parks and 10 recreation centers? Irving, of course, we've got this pretty good size green space, and I always see a lot of people in the parks.
Well, we're very fortunate that we've made a decision to do evaluation of all our rec centers, our parkland, and see how we can improve it in any way we can. The trail system, the Campion Trails that you're speaking of, is something that's been started many, many years ago, and we've been fortunate to, again, Dr. Garcia and Dallas County have been extremely helpful in working with us to make sure that those trails are expanded. It's 22 miles. It'll be the longest trail system in a city in this area once we're completed. And we have a plan over the next 4 years to purchase the real estate and do the improvements on there with help from the county to complete that trail system. We also are looking at all our parks and open space to make sure that we can take advantage of it. I also want to thank the NEC, the Levy family. We just recently purchased some land in the urban center for an urban park. And so we were going to be working with them on how we can redevelop that area as well. And it'll tie into the trail system around all the Lake Carolyn and eventually into the everything that's available as far as trails. And as we redo that park area, again, we're going to have a space in there for food trucks. We're going to have a shelter, and that's where you'll see the laughs at the lakes that you saw and the fireworks on the 4th of July. And those type of things of events will be happening in that as well.
So we're in a building that just a few years ago, this was just open land. I mean, just nothing here. And just to the south of us, the Toyota Music Factory, those are nothing more than dreams just a few years ago.
Well, it was interesting as we started to think about how do we move forward with the dollars that we create through our hotel motel tax. So for the first phase we did was we invested in our arts. And Mr. Carpenter donated the land for the Arts Center, and so the dollars that we raised, a good percentage went to the arts to get that established. And then as we grew and more hotels became available, and we're close to 13,000 hotel rooms in the city of Irving, we decided how do we best leverage those dollars? Well, we're a city built for business, so this facility is built for business. It's built for breakout rooms, it's built for corporate meetings, things of that nature. And so they said when we got ready to build this, well, what do we really want to build? How do we want to do it? So we had pretty much an idea we wanted to do, and then 9/11 came. So everything got put on hold. So then we started back and we came out of the ground with this first, and they said, in order for us to be successful, you need 3 legs to the stool. You need an entertainment venue, and you need a hotel, and you need a convention center. So the convention center was the first piece that we put together and were able to do. The entertainment venue is the second piece we've been able to accomplish. And the third piece is the hotel. You see the beautiful building coming out across the street, which we should be up and operating by mid-February.
I didn't want to get through this without talking about a really good information in terms of what the police have been doing, because crime's down.
Yes, the chief, you know, I'm extremely fortunate to have unbelievable people that I work with. You can see a table of gentlemen that serve with me on the council, that work hard every day, get up every day thinking what can they do for Irving. And we also have over 2,000 employees that get up every day and try to determine what's the best thing to do for Irving. And our police chief and our fire chief are actually homegrown. They've gone through the system. They started out, they've been with us over 20 years. They know every crook and cranny of the city of Irving. And the chief has stepped up and looked at how does he use technology better, how does he work smarter, and we've got a 6.32 reduction in crime for last year, which is the last time we had anything recognized or recorded. This is the lowest year we've ever had, going back to 1988. So tremendous job by our police department. And yeah. I know we may be running short on some things, but I do want to take this opportunity to talk about our police department and our fire department and all the great things that they have done, and the fact that we have, as a city, have made a decision to expand both of those. We've added 40 to 50 people in each of those departments. We are building different buildings to make sure that they're available for what they need, and they're taking advantage of things that they're available for them. Recently, they launched the Mental Health Crisis Intervention Team, which is the first in the state. So I want to commend our chief. You know, this kind of plays into a lot of things, because a lot of the people who are on the streets and need help are our veterans. And a lot of them it's because of mental challenges. So we've looked at a position, and the chief's done a great job of saying, let's not just put them in a police car and take them to jail. Let's have the opportunity for someone who can deal with them, can talk to them, can see if there's a way that they can work through their problems. So I'm so excited at that program that they have put together and taken advantage of. On the note of our fire chief, Chief Conley has done a great job of coming up with different things. We just recently opened a new fire station. We've got a second fire station that's going to be under construction with 4. He's come up with a program called the Blocker Program. We've got old pieces of equipment that sit around, and we might get $3,000, $4,000 for an old fire engine. He's decided that the best way to utilize those is when there's an event, when there's a major catastrophe on a road or a fire or something, he puts that unit out first as a blocker. So people are running into those rather than our good new equipment.
And they do run into them.
And our firemen. And also the chief was fortunate enough to get a grant that allows us to have a 4-man crew in some of our stations, and over a 3-year time frame they pay a percentage of it until we take on the whole deal. So our police and fire chief and our police and fire department are the best. They are the best in the country.
Got a great police athletic league here too. I hear a lot about too. There's, in fact, the man who owns the 7-Eleven at O'Connor and 114. I'm glad you mentioned that, because he keeps telling me he wants to team up with the police athletic league, and I keep telling him, well, good, they can use your money.
Well,
they definitely could.
We were fortunate as well. The police department, our PAL program, is recognized. And we had 2 contestants, both a man and a woman, that competed this last event, and they were able to get a challenge grant. If they raised $202,000, they would be matched. And so we're going to be taking those dollars, and they actually over-raised that, and they did meet the match. And we'll be taking the old National Guard Armory and redoing it so that they'll have a better facility for these young people.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we've talked about the past, we've talked about the present. Let's show you a little video about vision of the future.
This is going to be about the history of Irving.
So we want to make sure that we're capturing community stories that mean something to the people who live here.
Another feature, we got an association with the Smithsonian Institute. We bring in different exhibits.
Every time you talk about trails, you're not only talking about increasing property values, you're also improving health.
I'm excited for the new part to come open.
To be competitive in this market, you have to be up to date, you have to have a nice playable course. So we wanted to provide that service for our residents here.
The Urban Center has turned into a live, work, play environment. This space ought to take its place in part of that activity.
Just having a public plaza will eventually be more of a gathering spot on Main Street for people who may want to go down there during special events or whatnot.
It's a 16,000 square foot center, and we're adding about 11,000 square feet. So we're adding quite a bit to it. It's going to make a big difference.
Now we can double the size of our park.
Heritage Park, there's so many events and activities that take place there. It's going to be an important priority for the city.
Well, that's a great promise, Mayor.
Yeah, we're very fortunate. As we talked through different things, we kind of touched on some of the different things that you just saw here at the end that we're doing as a community. And again, I can't say enough for how we work together with the businesses. We're so fortunate in the city of Irving to have 74% of our tax base are commercial businesses. The businesses that are here today, the people that spend their dollars, the people who live and work, the people who provide the jobs and help us continue to build our city are here today, and I'm very thankful for them.
All right, Irving, let's give ourselves a nice round of applause. Thank you so much, Mayor.
Thank you.
I think we can say that this state of the city is quite good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.